Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing with you how you can set practical financial goals. You don't want to start setting financial goals before you have a clear understanding of where you currently stand right now. So you want to have a very clear picture of your income, your investments, your debts, everything. So you know exactly what's happening within those different accounts. That will help you to identify what the most highest priority thing for you could be going into 2023. And going through that exercise as well will help you to identify some emotions that you've experienced because of your financial situation. So, for example, you might have experienced a lot of stress and anxiety because in the previous year you didn't have an emergency fund, and when things came up, you were just not able to pay for them because you didn't have the money, which then forced you to go into more debt, which in turn also increase your stress and anxiety. So that is something that you might want to prioritize because it won't only impact your finances, but it will also impact your emotional well-being, your mental well-being as well. So building an emergency fund could be a priority for you going into 2023. Once you have the clear understanding of where your finances stand currently, then you can start to ask yourself, what do I want out of this year? What type of life do I want to live? And how do I want to feel when it comes to my finances? This will help you to envision the future and envision the kind of life that you want out of this year, which will in turn help you to identify some of the financial goals that you'll want to hit in order to make that life a reality. So let's say you are envisioning a stress-free life where you're not worried about where your next income is coming from, where your investments are growing, where you have complete control of your debt or you're completely paid off your debt. Those are things that will help you to identify specific actions you need to take in order to make that life a reality. So of course, if you want a life that's where you don't have to worry about where your next income is coming from, then here you're thinking about setting goals around increasing your income, around diversifying your income, which means we're starting to think about side hustles, we're starting to think about freelancing, we're starting to think about different ways to actually bring in the money. So just bring down all the things that you would love your life to look like, and also the financial goals you think would help you to achieve that. Now that you've identified the most important financial goals that you want to go for this year, you can start to then think about the process of how you're actually going to achieve those goals. Remember, the goals are just a destination. It's where we want to get to. But the most important part is how we actually get there. So here you really want to spend most of your time thinking about the different ways that you'll be able to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So for example, if building an emergency fund is a goal that you have for this year, you want to start thinking about where that money is going to come from. Is it money that you're able to save with your current income, or will you need to increase your income? And coming up with ideas of how you're going to go about increasing your income. Beyond that, you're also thinking about how do you make sure that you actually save consistently towards that emergency fund, how much you need to save, how much can you save every month, and setting up systems around how that money gets deposited into your account. If you're like me, you're not going to want to have to go into your bank account and transfer into your emergency savings account every single month. So you might want to automate that with a debit order, for example. So here you're really thinking about strategy, you're thinking about building systems, you're thinking about ways to make it as easy as possible for you to reach that specific goal. Another example is if you want to pay off some debt this year, or if you want to become debt free, then you want to start thinking about what method you're actually going to use to attack your debt. Are you going to use the debt snowball method? Are you going to use the debt avalanche method? Which one makes the most sense for you? These are all things you want to start thinking about. You're thinking about the systems that you're going to use. You're thinking about the process, the hard work behind that goal that's actually going to make that goal a reality. So you're going to spend a bulk of your time on this section, and hang on towards the end of the video, because I'm going to share with you a strategy that will help you think through this process a little bit more easier, because it might sound really overwhelming right now, but I promise it doesn't have to. I'll share a strategy towards the end that will help you just think through this process and create the systems and processes that you need to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And remember, you can always review and change your process and your system as time goes on. But it's really important to have a process and system so that you can actually have something going on and identify where it's not working out for you, and then you can make tweaks along the way. The next tip is to start thinking about accountability. So you want to make sure that you keep yourself accountable throughout the year for the financial goals that you set for yourself. A lot of people set goals in January, and by the time the end of January rolls over or the end of February rolls over, they've long forgotten about those goals and they've just gone back to living their life. I've done this more times than I would like to admit. And to be honest, if I was more intentional about how I was going to hold myself accountable, I think I would have been able to actually push through until the end of the year and actually go after the goals that I had set at the beginning of the year. So think about how you're going to manage your accountability. Are you going to get an accountability partner? You can talk to a friend, share your goals with them, of course, someone that you trust. Or if you don't want to share your goals with someone in real life that you know, then you might share your goals with a paid professional. So you can find an accountability partner on sites like coach.me, where you can share your goals with someone and then they'll check in with you regularly to see how you're doing on your goals. So here's a practical strategy that I really enjoy using when setting my own financial goals, and I think will help you immensely in setting your own very practical and actionable financial goals. And that is using OKRs. So OKRs stand for objectives and key results. They're usually used by companies and organizations when they set their goals, but you can absolutely use that same method when it comes to setting your own personal financial goals. The idea behind OKRs is to bridge the gap between your financial goals and the practical strategies and steps that you actually need to take in order to reach those goals. So there are three key elements when it comes to OKRs. The objectives, which are essentially the goals that you want to achieve. Their key results. These are things that indicate that you're actually succeeding and making progress towards achieving your objective slash goal. And their initiatives. So initiatives are different actions and different things that you need to actually do on a day-to-day basis, on a quarterly basis, on a regular basis, essentially to help you achieve and move yourself forward towards your goal. Let's say your objective slash goal is, I want to be more financially secure this year. That is your goal, that is your objective. Once you have that, you can start to think about the different things that would indicate that you're achieving that and moving towards achieving that ultimate goal that you have. So your key results could include things like your emergency fund is at least 3 months worth of living expenses, you are investing regularly, you have at least two sources of income. These would all be indicators of having financial security. But of course, this is not necessarily outlining the different things that you actually have to do to achieve those goals. That's when initiatives come in. So when you're thinking about initiatives, you're thinking, what can I do to actually achieve my goal? What can I do to achieve the different initiatives that I have identified that would be indicators of me actually being in the space or having achieved the goal that I want to achieve. And going back to our example, if you want to build an emergency fund of at least 3 months, then you can start to say, okay, I can maybe save 10% of my income towards an emergency fund every single month until I get to that point. Or when it comes to like your income, if you want at least two sources of income, then you can start thinking, okay, maybe I can start a side hustle, or maybe I can start freelancing on the side in order to increase and diversify my income. If you want to start investing more regularly, then you're thinking, okay, maybe I can automate my investments. That way I am regularly investing without needing to do anything myself. So you're really thinking about the different steps that you need to take in order to be able to reach those key results that indicate success for your ultimate goal. So make sure you set aside a recurring meeting with yourself where you sit down and review these goals on a bi-weekly basis, a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, so that you're always making sure that you know how much progress you're making towards that goal, and also be able to catch yourself if you are not making as much progress as you should, and make adjustments earlier rather than later. If you like this video, then you're going to enjoy my video all about financial habits that you need for financial success. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was useful. Bye. Oh, don't forget, leave me a yellow heart in the comments if you watched until the end. Thank you so much, and I will see you on my next video.